When I look at a lot of the kind of members of the social justice mob or the bullies, really, of the internet, I'm often reminded of, I don't know what you would call this, like just a story or kind of a way of thinking, words to live by, and that is the crabs in a bucket analogy. I don't know if you've heard it, but I'll be brief. The story goes something along the lines of fishermen will put crabs in like open 5-gallon buckets or whatever and not put tops on it. And someone comes along and says, like, why don't you put covers on it? Aren't they going to get out? Well, what the crabs do is anytime any other crabs getting out, they're constantly pulling it down. They don't have to worry about crabs escaping because the other crabs are always pulling them down. And this is very similar to the behavior I see from the social justice sphere. Specifically, let's talk about the comics industry, where artisanal comics are now becoming the new thing. What is an artisanal comic? Well, it's higher priced, higher quality, higher level of product, direct to consumer. We see this in the success with over $300,000, over $333,000, I believe, raised independently by the Jawbreakers comic with the Brett Smith, John Malin, EVS doing the cover work and Diversity in Comics. And now we see Ethan Van Sciver launching his own. Nearly $200,000 raised with Cyber Frog, Blood Honey. And Ethan Van Sciver is an interesting case. It's a case of someone basically leaving the plantation. I've had conversations with him directly, and he believes very strongly that this is really the future. This having a great rapport with your fans, communicating with your fans directly, and being a positive influence on the industry, not shaming people for what they like, and delivering what your fans demand. And most importantly, not having a adversarial relationship with the fandom, which seems so common with a lot of the comic pros these days, specifically those that seem more concerned with social justice than the success of comics. And of course, like any crab trying to leave the bucket or someone trying to leave the plantation, so to speak, Ethan Van Sciver has been targeted by his peers.
Who wants to work in the industry as an out Republican, somebody who is outspoken like myself, cannot keep my mouth closed about my views. I am not going to hide or shrink while everyone else feels the need to batter the fandom over the head with their politics. I think it is fair play for me to be able to say, yes, I am a Republican. Yes, this is how I feel. I am a conservative. More or less. I don't think I'm a conservative. I think I'm just a Republican. Yeah, those are my views, and I'm proud of them, and I will defend them if I feel attacked for them. Because of this, I have been chased around the internet, chased around my various social media, being attacked by extreme left-wingers, and I have attacked back a few times. But this has not ended. This has resulted in me being threatened by my peers. I've had many people tell me that if I didn't change my ways, if I didn't stop what I was doing, if I didn't stop being, say, in support of my friend Richard Meyer, who is Diversity in Comics. I don't know if you know the Diversity in Comics channel, but I've known Richard for some time. I think he has some great points. I think he is correct in many of his points about what is going wrong with the comic book industry. And I've said so on this channel, on Twitter. And for this, I have been threatened physically with violence. So is my family. My wife threatened with rape. My daughter being called, my 2-year-old daughter, called names. And my appearances have been met with violent threats and actual vandalism after the fact. You can look up the Gotham City pizza incident for evidence of that. I've had far left wingers who have friends in the garbage media and the garbage far left media write scandalous, defamatory articles about me, full of untruth. When I met these people, some of them called me a Nazi. and spread rumors that I was a white nationalist, a white supremacist. These are all terrible lies.
Of course, none of this surprises me as somebody who went through this with the Magic the Gathering community being attacked from all sides, including my family and my parents, my sister, receiving phone calls, all sorts of things. So this sort of attack really didn't surprise me. However, what I'm so thankful for is that now we have this big platform together. We can share this video out. We can let it be known that Cyberfrog, Blood Honey, one-shot comic is a thing, and supporting it is supporting independent creators. It's supporting people willing to leave the plantation. Now, it doesn't matter if you agree with Ethan on politics. That is the whole point. To a lot of the people who stay back at DC and Marvel, and especially companies like IDW, you must agree with their personal ideologies, in addition to also towing the line. Now, Ethan's been in the industry long enough. He was able to go out on his own. He had his own original comic in Cyberfrog. And as we can see, it's going really well. 3,031 backers. I am one of them. And this comic looks very, very awesome. Looks very exciting. I've backed it because Ethan is a friend of mine, but also because it's a statement about backing somebody who isn't willing to bend the knee. And if you like comics, or if you're a fan of somebody standing up for what they believe and going out there, check it out. I'm not saying you have to back it. Check it out. Share it with a friend who might be interested. Ethan is not just a friend, but he is also an amazing artist, as you can see. Very talented. And he has stood by other creators like Diversity in Comics for his Jawbreakers book. And now he's left DC, left the plantation, and out on his own. And I can only as a judge of good character, I think, say that this is a man that I would stand behind. I would stand behind his product because he loves his fans. He streams several times a day. He has a very active YouTube channel sticking up for the Star Wars community and standing up against these bullies online. And I am a huge fan of Ethan. And there are times when you have to get out there and defend people because it coming from Ethan is only one source, right? I feel like a responsibility, since I know many of you are Star Wars fans and many of you are comic book fans and many of you are fans of fighting the culture war. I have to help spread this word. This is going to be a great book, and I highly recommend considering backing it for whatever your reason is. If it's to put a thumb in the eye of social justice busybodies, great. That's pretty much, other than him being my friend, that's my second biggest reason. If you're a fan of Cyberfrog, great. Also great. If you're a fan of good art, you're a fan of a comic pro willing to leave the plantation and interact with their fans, Ethan Van Sciver is a great person to back. I'm hoping that these attacks on him will level off, although based on experience, I don't expect that to happen anytime soon. But I wish Ethan the best of luck, and hopefully some of you will consider backing Cyberfrog, Blood Honey.
Hello, potential Indiegogo backers. Hello, friends. My name is Ethan Van Sciver. I'm a comic book creator who worked for 20 years for Marvel and DC Comics on books like Green Lantern, Flash, Superman, Batman, and X-Men. But before that, I had a comic book called Cyberfrog. Now, Cyberfrog lasted from 1993 to 1998, and then it stopped when I went to go work for DC Comics. Now I want to tell the story of where Cyberfrog has been for the last 20 years. I want to write, pencil, ink a book called Cyberfrog Blood Honey that tells the story of gigantic alien hornets that come to Earth and conquer it, sending Cyberfrog into deep hibernation, where he emerges now in the year 2018 into a completely alternate reality, a new world where these hornets have taken over, devastated humanity, using human skin to make gigantic wasp hives, and harvesting human blood to make honey to feed their young. Very few humans still exist, but it's up to Cyberfrog to save what's left of humanity and turn back the damage that's been done by these wasps with his brother Salamandroid and his friend Heather Swain. I want you to help me do this. We're going to get colors by Kyle Ritter. He's a fantastic colorist, and he's going to make this book sing. I'd like this to be a 48-page one-shot prestige format, part 1 of 4. So I'm asking you to help me launch the very first Cyberfrog Blood Honey epic graphic novel. Are you in? Will you help me? I hope so. Let's get this frog jumping again.